how about we put our money to work for us versus us working for the money? Here are some tips on how to manage and take control of your money. You're gonna have 6 bank accounts, right? And why do you want to do this? Because you have to give your money a destination, give it a name, tell it what it's supposed to do. Otherwise, life will just do it for you. For example, I was always saving up money because I've been raised to always have savings, right? That's how they teach us in school and everywhere. Save your money. And so I did that. But every time I saved my money and I had a certain amount, something would happen. I would need new tires. At one point, I was like so happy because it was the most I've raised. I raised $10,000 and I was like, finally have good savings. And what happens? The famous emergency that everybody talks about. Save your money for an emergency. The plumbing in my house went out and it was exactly $10,000 that I had to pay for that emergency. And the lesson I learned from there is that you have to give your money a destination. So here are the 5 destinations. Well, actually it's 6. 50% goes to your living expenses. And that's easy. Rent, food, transportation. The other 5 accounts is where you manage and control your money and give it a destination and you put it to work. And the first one is pay yourself first. And I'm talking the self of retirement. This is a long-term investment where you're not touching that money anymore. You're not thinking or even considering of taking it out. You just pay yourself first, 10% every paycheck and more if you can. This money you're not touching. This is for the senior you. You can have a good pension. You cannot rely on Social Security. That is not going to be enough. $2,000 right now might seem like a lot, but it's not going to be in 40 years or in 20 years. But it's still nice to have a pension where you know you're going to be having, say, $2,000 a month, and it's for sure that you're going to have that money. Maybe in 20 years it's not going to be a lot, but it might cover your car. It might cover something. It's going to cover something. So you're going to have your Social Security, your pension, your retirement fund, whole life insurance. That's another investment. There are so many long-term investments out there. Then you have the pay yourself first, and then you have the short-term investments. And these short-term investments, it's also 10%. And this is money you can have for opportunities. It's for your financial freedom. And these will be like a small business. You can start up your own business and then get that money and put it back into the business and make it grow and grow. And that's how you're growing your money with that business. Short-term investment can also be real estate. That's what helped me a lot get through life in California. Short-term investment, buy a house, piece of land, hold on to it for at least 2 years or until it grows in equity, and then you sell it, profit from it. Short-term investment. It could be any kind of investment where you can have access to your money whenever you need it. You can have dividends, buy stock. There are so many things you can do. The other one is education. You have to invest in yourself. You can't be stuck in high school. You can't stay stuck with what you learned in university, because what you learned in the past may not be practical in the today world or in a few years. You don't want to become obsolete. You got to improve your skills, improve your writing skills, your critical thinking, improve your public speaking, your vocabulary, your presentation, master your talent, master whatever you decide to do. You go to conferences, go to seminars, invest in yourself, make yourself valuable. The other 10% goes to entertainment. And in entertainment, that's guilt-free money that you can just spend on whatever you like. It could go to concerts, luxury bag, expensive perfume, whatever makes you happy. That is for you. I'm not saying it's for gifting. It is specifically for you. And because otherwise, if you don't have this entertainment category, you're gonna get to a point where you just burn out and you think, what is the point of living? It's like, I want to enjoy what I have right now. What if I'm not around? What if? No, there are no what ifs. Yes, you do need to prepare for the future. You need to prepare for opportunities and share what you have, improve your skills, but you also need to have some fun. This is fun money. So I think I covered all of them. Short-term investment, long-term investment, entertainment, education, charity, and living expenses. And so someone told me the other day, how can I even have those 5 categories if my living expenses use up all my check? Well, then we have to remember you are the money generator. You have to figure out how to stop. That is a poor mentality right there. You're not limited to one paycheck. Go to the video, How to Stop Thinking Poor, and you figure it out. You just have to know where you want your money to go. So say after you pay your living expenses, say your living expenses take up 90% of your check. Now you have 10% left over. So you say, how am I going to put 10% of my paycheck into 5 other categories? Easy, divided by 5. So you put 2% into each category. But the thing is that you have to build that habit. Maybe that 2% right now is only $5 to each. But at the end of the year, you're going to have $60 in each category. It adds up pretty quick. And you're not going to stay stuck because you're going to be improving on your skills. What means that you can charge more by the hour or by the project or service, whatever you're doing. You're going to be more skilled in it. You're going to be better educated. You're going to have interest compounding on that savings account. And if you have an employer contribution for your 401k, you're going to have more than $60. And then you're going to have some investment opportunities. Maybe with that $60, you can buy some stock. And that stock grew. Maybe you got a piece of gold, and by now that little ounce of gold has doubled in price. So that's, even though you invested a minimal amount, over time, that money is growing. Like, maybe you bought a piece of land for $50,000, and a year later, that piece of land is now worth $80,000. Now you have $30,000 more. That is how you make your money work for you. And you just you have to be patient. And you're not going to see your money grow like that. It could just be like that, or it just might be like that. You don't know. But the thing is that you have to have a destination